Oh man, it's sad. It really is flat out sad, downright atrocious how the media straight up lies about these kids. Excuse me for being so passionate about this, but honestly, it just pisses me off. It doesn't piss me off because I'm envious or I'm jealous of them. I'm wishing everybody on this earth the best of luck. I want to see every single person succeed. There's enough money, whatever, for everybody. Whatever your definition of success is, there's plenty of it to go around. Because in all honesty, in 2022, being successful is the easiest it's ever been because there's more lazy people than I've ever seen. Anyways, that's a different conversation for a different day. Let's get on topic with Mr. Shareef O'Neal. Whoa, hold on. I know what you're sitting there thinking or saying to yourself. Yo, Matt, what's got you so worked up? How are they lying? Well, my friend, I am glad you asked that question because I have a question for you. Do you have two eyeballs? Are you seeing what I'm seeing? Recently, I'm sure most of you at least heard of it by now. Now, we all know Shareef O'Neal, he didn't get drafted in the recent draft, but he did get picked up by the Los Angeles Lakers. There's not another way to say this. It's a shame, and I feel bad for the kid. We're going to talk all about it in this video. Real quick, though, we're on the road to 200K. So if you like basketball content, consider hitting that subscribe button. I would greatly appreciate it. And now, without further ado, let's get into it. Why did I say it like that? Anyways, let's get into it. Good old Shareef O'Neal. No introduction needed. You know who he is. He is the son of Shaquille O'Neal, who is a star. Now that I think about it, many people may know Shaquille O'Neal for his commercials and what he's done off the court, not for what he's done on the court. If you were to go look up the definition of success, there'd be a picture of Shaquille O'Neal there. From being an NBA legend to now a guy I see every day on TV on some random commercial, the dude's a celebrity. And now that I'm thinking about it, I gotta throw this in there before I forget. He's always donating tons of money and giving it away. Shaquille O'Neal, man, can't say enough great things about him. What a guy. But we're not here to talk about him, we're here to talk about his son. I don't want to give you the boring run through on his entire life story, but I do got to give you some context so you can understand what we're about to talk about. Coming out of high school, Shareef was regarded as a top recruit, and rightfully so. He was dominating high school basketball. He was 6'9", 205 pounds, and he was a 4-star recruit. Maybe you're impressed by it, but I'm personally not impressed by a 6'9", basically 7-footer dominating high school kids. If you're halfway coordinated and you're 6'9", yeah, you're gonna have a pretty lustful high school career. I'm not discrediting what he did, but most of the high school players you're going up against are about 6'1", 6'2". Regardless of that, I do want to give him his flowers. He was a 4-star recruit and averaged around 22, 23 points per game. I think that's right. He did average around 22. I could be wrong on that. I'm not going to look it up because it doesn't matter. He was good in high school. Can't take that away from him, and he wound up deciding to commit and sign with UCLA. To make an extremely long story short, it didn't work out at UCLA, and he also had a major heart surgery. There was multiple questions even asking if he was even going to play basketball again, and he wound up coming back from it, and now supposedly he's 100%. They cleared him to play in college, and if the athletic trainers or whoever clears you, you're good enough to play. So I'm not going to give you that excuse that, oh, well, he had heart surgery. It doesn't matter, you're cleared. Yes, I understand it may take a year to get back up to speed with things, but after that, I'm just not a guy that gives out excuses. I don't give myself excuses, and I don't give them for anyone else. I already know people are going to run to the comments and say, well, Matt, you're being critical and harsh on him. He had heart surgery. Look, I'm not here to even criticize his play or athletic ability. I'm just about to expose the truth about him and expose why all these media people are lying. He leaves UCLA and he makes this big announcement that he's going to transfer to LSU, aka his dad's alma mater. Sounds amazing, right? It's the dream story that we all want to see and love in sports. Shareef's going to his dad's college. He's going to go out there and be the next LSU star just like his father. How do I say this nicely? That didn't happen. In his first year at LSU, to be more specific, 2020 through 2021, he averaged 15 minutes per game. In those 15 minutes, he shot a terrible 37.5% from the overall field and 18% from the three-point line. To put the cherry on top of that, he averaged 4.4 rebounds per game and 2.8 points. May I remind you, he's 6'10", averaging 2.8 points per game. Like many others, I gave him the benefit of the doubt. That was his first year back from a major surgery, but I did want to see improvement in the next year that happened only a year ago. In his second season at LSU, which was 2021 through 2022, the most recent one, Yeah, it literally was the same. Well, technically, my bad, it wasn't the same. He did improve his points per game. He jumped it all the way up from 2.8 to 2.9. His minutes per game did drop. He was playing garbage time here and there, and he only averaged 9 minutes per game. His shooting stats don't even matter because it's such a small sample size, but if you are curious, he shot 50% from the overall field and 14% behind the arc. Seeing these stats right now on your screen, would you tell me this is going to be a guy who could even have a shot at the NBA? No. I can't remember the last time, if ever, someone averaged less than 3 points per game and made it to the NBA. Heck, I don't even know if a guy who averaged under 3 points per game even made it to the G League. This has got to be the first time ever it's even happened. Ladies and gentlemen, here's the most mind-boggling thing about all this to me. He could have came back to college. I know he has 1 year left. He might have had 2. I'm not sure how that worked out with the whole redshirting process. But regardless, he could have came back, and his dad even made it clear that he wanted him to go back. But for some odd reason, after averaging 2.8 points per game and barely even playing, he said, you know what, I think I'm good enough to go to the next level. Let me put it this way. You know it's bad when your own dad comes out and says you should have went back to school. That's all I'm gonna say about it, but here's what Shareef O'Neal had to say in an interview. We kind of bump heads about this process, referring to him and his dad. He wanted me to stay in school. I wanted to better myself through this. He knows I'm working out with teams, but I'm not going to lie, we ain't talked about this. I'm kind of just going through it. He didn't do any pre-draft workouts. He just got straight to Orlando Magic, so it's a different grind. Yeah, it's a different grind, cause you ain't supposed to be the number 1 overall pick. You ain't Shaq. You're Shaq's son, and in all honesty, if you weren't Shaq's son, you wouldn't even be getting talked about. But nobody wants to tell you that. All the media wants to do is say, oh yeah, he could be special one day. He could live up to the hype. He just needs a chance. It's a sad, sad world we live in. All you got to do now is be the son of a famous NBA athlete or NFL athlete, and you're going to get chances that you don't even deserve. That's my biggest dilemma with this, because there's guys that can actually play basketball and probably average at least 10 points per game that aren't even going to get a G League tryout like Shareef O'Neal has. So instead of offering guys that actually deserve it, we're just going to spoon feed Shareef O'Neal because he's Shaq's son, right? Yeah, straight up ridiculous. I wish I could say I don't understand it, but I do. Let's not overcomplicate this or beat around the bush. The only reason people talk about him is because he's Shaq's son, nothing else. Have you ever went to school, college, work, and anyone said, yo, did you watch Shareef O'Neal play last night? No! He's not even known for what he does on the court. That's what makes it even worse. Moving on with our video, 4 days ago on Twitter, he tweeted out, thank you for having me to the Lakers because they invited him to have a workout. So you got the Lakers tweeting it out, then he's retweeting it, getting everybody's hopes up and trying to convince people he's actually going to be good. And you still got stupid people out there like this saying he's going to be the real sleeper of this NBA draft. Watch out. No, he's not a sleeper. He's just bad. Yeah, that's right. I said it. Shareef O'Neal, he's bad. I'm not here to sugarcoat anything. I already know you got some people in the comments running right now. Well, Matt, how's he bad? I bet he could beat you. Well, heck, I hope he could. I ain't picked up a ball in 3 years. Yeah, compared to me and you watching this video, he's good. But we're not comparing him to me and you. We're comparing him to NBA players. That's his competition. And compared to the NBA competition, he's not even average. He's bad. Take that how you want, but ESPN and all these news outlets, they're not going to tell you this. And I'm not hating on the kid, it's just the cold hard truth. I'm wishing him the best of luck, and I hope he proves me wrong. Here's another question I have. If you don't think he's bad and you want to try to debate me on this, okay, where's your evidence to go with your claim saying he's going to be good? I've given you my evidence. You may not like and agree with everything I say on this channel, but you do have to admit I have at least some type of evidence to go with my claims. My claims may be wild or wrong here and there, but I always got something to back it up. So once again, if you think he's good, give me some evidence. And if you're going to be one of those people and try to say, oh, well, he averaged 23 points in high school, well dang, that was 6 years ago. It gets worse from there. So after that tweet, only 3 days ago, he tweeted out, I bet on myself heavy. That's just how I am built. I feel like everyone should do the same. And under that tweet, I couldn't have said it any better myself. Here's what someone replied. How are you built? Kids these days, they all think they're extraordinary. You average 2 points per game, ... Your pops was one of the best. I'm pretty sure he's the one that's earned the right to say how I'm built, straight to the recycle bin. That's what I'm saying, man. That tweet right there from Shareef O'Neal is about as corny as all the other Ja Morant tweets I've seen. I know y'all seen some of them. I wasn't really a fan of Ja Morant, but he didn't really bother me. But with all the tweeting he's been saying, talking about nobody wants to smoke, this and that, I think it's extremely corny. Maybe that's just me. But here's what I'm gonna say about that. At least Ja Morant, he's a great basketball player. Shareef O'Neal, my boy, you averaged 2 points. What do you mean you're built different? No, you're not. I'll tell you what, if anything, you built like a slightly thicker version than ramen noodle Chet Holmgren. You got this person saying he averaged less than 3 points per game. Bro had any other last name and he's at a trade school right now. Saddest part about that is I don't see any lies. And right when you thought it couldn't get any better, guess what? The Lakers also signed Scottie Pippen Jr. I'm going to ask a serious question. I don't really cover the NBA all too much, but are the Lakers just doing this for publicity? Is this a PR stunt? I don't know. Maybe I'm lost on this. Now, I understand Scottie Pippen Jr. I watched him play at Vanderbilt, and that dude's good, but the Shareef thing, strange, and the fact they signed both of them, even more strange. It's like the Lakers only want the players with the most clout and attention so they can bring in millions of views. And I don't know if some of you watch Scottie Pippen play at Vanderbilt, but he is beyond ball dominant. And if he winds up making the roster somehow, there's not enough basketballs in the gym for him and Russell Westbrook. Last but not least, before we end out this video, at the end of the draft, it was officially announced right here that Shareef O'Neal was going to agree to play with the Los Angeles Lakers in the Summer League. He wound up retweeting that tweet and posted another one saying, "Thank you for this opportunity, Lakers." My last and final question. Why though, Lakers? Why? You know you're not going to sign him. There's no shot. Oh, that's right. I know the answer to that question. It's for publicity. Open your eyes, people. I watched Shareef O'Neal play at LSU. The dude's not good compared to NBA players. There's not too much more to say. It's rather simple. I am very curious. Let me know your thoughts on everything down below. But what I'll be, man.